Today, you join me outside the new 2020 BMW 7 Series, the 750i to be specific. And this is a car that seems to focus on the principle that bigger equals better. It's got bigger grills up front, a bigger BMW badge, bigger wheels, bigger exhaust outlets, and bigger and better screens in the interior. But is that true? Does bigger actually make a better car? Today, I'm going to walk you guys around the new 750i and walk you through some of the different technologies, the performance specs, and what they've enlarged over the previous generation. So let's get right into the review. And when I say bigger, boy, do I mean bigger. Just take a look at the front end of the new 7 Series. The first thing you're going to notice on this car are the BMW kidney style grills. They're supposedly 40% bigger than the previous generation of this model, and they are enormous. I've seen a lot of memes about these grills. I've heard a lot of complaints about these grills, but no one's really explained why they're so big. And I'm going to change that right now. It's actually for the technology. Obviously, they're used to house a lot of sensors and front cameras to help with the safety technology built into this car, but they also have a built-in ventilation system. There are actually air vents on the front of this grille that will close to improve aerodynamics when the car doesn't need to be cooled, but then when you need a little bit more air for the radiators and that V8 powertrain, they'll automatically open right up and let air in to cool the engine. So you're getting a lot of technology with these grills that kind of explain why they're so big. But something that doesn't necessarily need to be this big is the BMW grille. It's supposedly 13 millimeters bigger than the previous generation. Not 12, not 14, 13 millimeters bigger. And well, there's really no reason for that other than to round off the look with these enormous grills. Now, moving along to the side of the car, it's still just as enormous as the previous 7 Series was, maybe a little bit bigger. It's a very smooth design. You don't have a ton of features going on over here. It's just clean and sharp and good looking. It definitely has a very obvious aggressive stance out on the road, which I imagine a lot of 7 Series owners are going to want. Now, you get a lot of options on the side of the car, even if you don't get a ton of features, and those are mostly centered around the wheels. They offer millions of different styles for these wheels. You can get 18, 19, 17, 20, 21-inch wheels, just a host of different styles and sizes to really make sure your car looks the right way that you want it to. Now, really the last feature on the side of the car is this little vent right behind the wheels, and this is actually called the air curtain. It essentially is going to pull turbulent air out of the wheel well to improve aerodynamics. But remember, this isn't really a sports car, so in terms of aerodynamics, it's not really focused on downforce or reducing drag. It's more about reducing wind noise, so that's what that air curtain is there for. And then the rear of the car has been updated as well with a new 6mm wide LED light bar strip, as well as full LED taillights on either side of that, and enormous gloss black exhaust tips. And just like the exterior of this car, BMW went big under the hood with this powertrain. The 7 Series is actually available with 3 different engines, which is, I think, more than any other car I've ever reviewed. They offer a lot of different customization with this car, as we saw on the exterior. The base models, the 740i, all come with a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine, which is good for over 300 horsepower. But this is a big car, so 335 horsepower really isn't enough. So that's why they offered this model, the 750i, with a 4.4-liter twin-power turbocharged V8. Now, you might be wondering what twin power turbo means. It does not mean that this car has twin turbos, 2 of them. There's only one down there. Twin power actually refers to the design of the turbocharger itself. It's a twin scroll turbocharger, so that's what the twin refers to. BMW might want you to think that there's 2 of them in here, but it's just kind of a dual-sided single turbo. It's complicated technical stuff that we aren't really going to be able to get into in this review. All you need to know is that this V8 is going to produce over 500 horsepower for the 8-speed automatic transmission. But for some BMW buyers, 523 horsepower just isn't enough. So that's why BMW also offers, with the M760i, a 6.6-liter twin-power turbocharged V12 engine with 600 horsepower. Now, supposedly this dealership had one a few days ago and I just missed it, but if you want to see me come back to review the V12, make sure to leave a comment down below. In the meantime, enjoy some revs from this twin-power turbo V8. If you liked the exterior of the new 7 Series, you're definitely going to love the interior as well, because it kind of continues that German styling where, yes, there are a lot of oversized things in here, but at the end of the day, they've got really good ergonomics. It's all comfortable in here. And in addition, they've added a ton of new technologies that we're eventually going to see trickling down into the base level BMWs, you know, the 3 Series, the 4 Series, cars like that. And it starts off on the dashboard with the new BMW iDrive infotainment 7.0 system. This is a 10.25-inch touchscreen. Unfortunately, it is located a little bit farther up on the dashboard, so if I'm sitting back in these comfortable leather seats, I can't really reach it that well. So they've also included a rotary dial here on the center console area that is very easy to get to. It falls right into your hand while you're driving, and you can use this to access everything in the infotainment system, from the settings for the vehicle, to the navigation system, to the media. Everything you need to access on the infotainment system you can get to very easily with these few buttons right here on the center console area. But they still managed to make it a clean design here. There's not a million buttons scattered around like some luxury brands. It's all very simple. I'm also liking how they tilted this BMW gear selector towards the driver so that when you get in the car to turn it on and put it into gear, all you got to do is just grab it, pull it right back, and you're in gear. So very simple system there. They're not trying to redesign anything like Mercedes and Audi always try to do with their fancy turn signal style gear selectors. It's just nice and simple, and I think that's really cool. Starting in on some of those cool technologies in this car, there are quite a few screens in here. At the very bottom level of the center console, we have a screen for the climate controls, so the heated seats, as well as, you know, the temperature for the car. It is an automatic climate control. Moving up from the lower climate controls, there are two more screens that if you're not paying attention, you might miss out on. There are two temperature gauges here right below the climate vents that allow you to change the temperature that the vents are spitting out using a screen, a little touch screen right there. It's actually surprisingly sensitive. It works very well. Now, the last screen in this car is very important. It's the digital driver display. It's a 12.3-inch screen, exactly the same in the cars like the M850i and the X7 that I recently reviewed. By the way, I'll put links to both those videos in the description if you want to check them out. Overall, it's a decent design as far as this screen goes. The thing that really stands out to me is that the temperature says plus 100 Fahrenheit. Apparently, it doesn't go any higher than 100, but the weather here in Florida does. It's a full Nappa leather interior with standard 20-way power adjustable front seats that include both heated and ventilated functions depending on whether it's hot or cold out. It's currently 100 degrees, so I have the ventilation system on. It's essentially going to provide a cool breeze to your back and help cool you down. It makes a little bit of noise, unfortunately, just like the climate system does, but obviously it helps cool you down quite a lot. And in case you couldn't guess from looking at the exterior of this car, the rear seats are plenty spacious as well, and you get a decent amount of luggage space in the trunk. Make sure to check out my reviews of the BMW 8 Series and the new X7. I've mentioned them a million times in this video, so you might as well watch them by clicking on one of the video cards right there. Special thanks to Furman BMW of Palm Harbor. I'll put a link to their inventory below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this review.